Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the Mini Shells podcast, your place for nuggets of insights, wisdom, and experiences about life and everything within. Hope it sparks joy among us all. And I'm your host, Lishamni Natation. Let's carry on with it, shall we? Our ideas, beliefs, and concepts always keep changing. So, in this episode, we are going to talk about that. No ideology or opinion or concept is going to remain the same. Not in someone's head, definitely not in the minds of the society collectively. Every idea is dynamic. It always revolves and evolves, and as you grow older, especially around the age of 25 plus, you can feel a lot of your own ideas and opinions changing. Maybe this keeps happening until you die. The opinions you once hated now starts making sense, or vice versa. You start to question your own opinions about a lot of trivial things as well as the supernatural or abstract stuffs. Often at this age, we can feel ourselves becoming like our parents. Well, that's a gift of adulting, though not sure if it's a gift or a curse. Let's talk about the influence of the society on our opinions and beliefs. Creators are all over the place, now more than ever. Each of us, yes, including myself, are putting our ideas onto the world, and we are being tossed around with each opinion, each trend. We are losing our own selves in this whirlwinds of opinions. We often don't try to be objective about it. Instead, we embody others' idea as our own because it seems cool. Maybe it coincides with your previously built opinions and beliefs, and thus now all you do is strengthen it with more of the same ideas. We don't really take the time to interpret or to analyze or to understand it even before embracing it as our own. Our ego always wants to strengthen what it has already acquired. Instead, when you start to question the already acquired opinions or beliefs, your ego gets scared, so it often tries to shut down the process of questioning at all and takes only what is familiar for it. Basically, we don't stop to question it before forming any conclusions. All these ideas that we are so attached with aren't even ours. Nothing is really ours. We have picked it up all on our journey up until now. Creation is creating something new, getting inspired by the old and modifying it into something new and meaningful. But these days we are all being tossed around from one idea to another just because those so-called old ones now seems new again. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So I started wearing specs from a very young age. When I started wearing, there weren't many children wearing it, unlike now where most of them are wearing specs. Now probably wearing specs is the new cool. Okay, so I was being teased and I felt kind of different and insecure about my specs. After a few years, the frameless specs became the trend. During those times, most of my friends claimed that would suit me. With the present specs, I looked kind of ugly or silly. And of course, I gave in to peer pressure and the feeling to fit in or to be called beautiful. So I got it after several years. I was kind of late to catch up the trend. But still, the new look was appreciated. But it didn't last long. Now the trend changed into bigger frames, the retro, so they call. Again, I'm late to catch up with it. I kind of hate such models, yet that is what is considered trendy now, whether you look good in them or not. These were the models that we once laughed at. Now all of a sudden it has become the desirable ones. So don't let these trends fool you. The fact is that we can never really catch up with it. Well, I can give you a lot of examples for this. Once the thinnest eyebrows were the beauty standard, now the eyebrows are combed and spread to its length, widened or broadened, etc. Well, there are a lot of examples that we can take when it comes to beauty and fashion, etc. But unfortunately, it doesn't stop with the fashion industry alone. Once, women believed that their role was in the kitchen, taking care of the people in their home. Every girl dreamed of a prince who would sweep them off their feet. They longed for such love to happen. They waited for their men to come into their life. They were literally groomed for marriage their entire life. Then this Western ideology came and claimed that you don't actually need a prince to sweep you off your feet. You don't need a man to provide you. Instead, you can be a provider, splitting the bills. Remember? Again, after a few years, the wheels kind of turned. And these days, it's like be feminine. Let your man do it for you. Let him pay the bills. Let him open the door for you. Let him treat you like a princess. But somehow they are also against the gender roles. Women's place is not supposed to be in the kitchen, but men should always be the prime provider. Something just doesn't add up or doesn't look fair at all. But more on that on a different episode though. And of course, I'm not really against any of these opinions in particular, but I'm just using it as an example to tell you that ideas will keep changing. Whenever something is put on the pedestal, someday it will inevitably be replaced by something else. You will be replaced by your future generation. Humans will be replaced by a different species. Who knows? Earth will die. Everything has to go on a cycle of death and rebirth. Everything really moves in a cycle actually. Every ideology or belief must die to give birth to a new one, only to be replaced by a newer one, or who knows, by an older one as well. And every ideology or belief or opinion is flawed in its own way. You have to remember this thing that facts are not always truth. Facts are something that may be widely accepted, but nobody really knows what the truth is at all aspects. Impermanence is life. So before forming any rigid opinion or belief, analyze it to its core. Don't just take all in just because someone says it as the right one. Instead, create your own right and wrong. Create your own fashion. And someday you would want to reconsider your own previous opinions, and that's totally okay. And this lets you to be considerate towards others' opinion as well. And not forming an opinion around something because you don't quite understand it completely is also totally okay. Be careful about what you put into your mind. Gatekeep it so religiously. Don't let others, including myself, toss you around. Let it be for a trend or for an opinion. Just be cautious, be objective, and be mindful. If not before, at least from now onwards, I believe that you will not allow others to dictate your opinions and ideas, and instead think about it objectively before embodying it. And always remember that no idea or belief or concept is in itself true or permanent. Instead, it will always be changing. So I hope you remember that. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Do follow and give it some shares. You could also follow me on Instagram, X, and my WhatsApp channel at Minishells. Once again, thank you and meet you with a new episode on next Saturday.